Good to see everybody. Joel asked me to stand in for him today, so I'll try to do as good a job as he has been doing the last couple of years since I turned this over to him. Joel Lucan, our Associate AD, is on loan for the next couple of days to Rockhurst. And you might say, oh my gosh, why would we ever do that? But Rockhurst is hosting the first and second rounds of the NCAA Soccer Championship for Men. And the way that the NCAA does their championship administration, they bring in somebody to be a neutral party. So Joel is the tournament administrator for the soccer championship at that site, which is a tremendous professional development opportunity for him, and I know he'll do a great job. So Joel is not with us, but sends his best to everyone. And it's good to see everybody here. I'm glad to see some of you all read my emails, and if I need to send an email every week to remind, or every month to remind you, I will continue to do that because you guys are special to our program, and we like to tell you what's going on. We're going to hear from a lot of coaches today as we made the transition from fall sports to winter sports. I want you to get a little bit of a recap from the fall, and then hear about what's going on in the winter. I said spring. Hear what's going on in the winter. So we're going to start out with Coach Jefferson Robley, and I'm not going to introduce everybody individually, so I'm going to rely on my coaches to remember their order. We're going to start out with Coach Robley from soccer. We're going to go to Coach Parks for volleyball. We're going to finish up the fall with Coach Cruzy from football, and then we will go to Coach Goal, and then Coach Kress and Coach Holly. And if you guys mess up, it's okay. But I know that they've got some student athletes that they want to introduce to you today, so I want to give you a lot of time to hear from them. So, Jefferson, come on up.
All right, well, men's and women's soccer, our season ended last week. So we had a good seasons. Our men's team was a really young squad, and we battled very hard. We actually, our last game of the year was maybe one of our best ones. We played at Rockhurst, who are currently actually playing the Sweet 16 tomorrow, and we lost 2-1 to them. We actually, the two teams that finished top 1 and 2 in the conference, Indianapolis and Rockhurst, we lost 2-1 to both of them with a squad that'll be returning 9 starters next year, which will be very exciting. On the women's side, we had another very good season. Our women were ranked as high as number 12 in the nation nationally. We qualified for the GLVC playoffs. Unfortunately, we lost our first round game to Truman State 2-1 in a very exciting game. And we did not get an at-large berth to nationals, but the women still had a very, very good season, worked really hard. And they've actually had a more experienced team, so we'll be losing a lot of very, very good players, but we've got very good players returning, and we'll have a great recruiting class, so it should be very exciting for both men's and women's soccer next year. Actually, we're in the middle of our off-season, and we'll actually have some opportunities to practice under new NCAA rules. We'll be able to have some practices before finals in just small groups, which we'll have some today, actually, so the players are pretty excited about getting back together. So that's it. We're on a little bit of a break, and then we'll hit it hard when we come back in the spring semester. I don't have any players here to talk to you guys. I have my assistant coach, Burke Slusher, over there, but I don't think we have enough time for us to talk much longer. So it's great seeing everyone. Thanks for coming out, and thank you. Go Jewel.
I'm Krista Parks. I'm the volleyball coach, and we just finished up our season on Saturday. We played at Rockhurst on Tuesday. We played a really tough match. They were ranked in the top 25, and we were right there with them, point for point. It was a great match, especially in set 3. We led most of the match, and they came back to clinch it at the end, and I was really proud of my team for the way that they battled against a great Rockhurst team. Finished out the season against Drury and S&T, 2 tough matches against 2 great teams who are both advancing to the conference tournament, which is this weekend. We were able to sign 3 great players in the early signing period, which we're really looking forward, who will contribute a great deal to our program next year. We have our team banquet this evening, and we're looking forward to spending some quality time with the families of our players, and one last celebration for our seniors. We graduated 3, so looking forward to moving into the spring season, hitting the recruiting trail, and working really hard to be successful for next year. So thank you.
Thank you for the great turnout today. just piggybacking on what the other fall coaches said. We all jumped into our second year at the Division II level here and hit some tough competition, but there were some good things. I know Jefferson had some good things going on throughout the season, and some of the other sports and different points during the season. There was a lot of bright spots. Probably our signature win this season was a win at Valparaiso, Indiana, against a Division I school, and then the finish of the season, going 2-2 in the last 4, and had a frustrating loss last Saturday where we went and played a 7-3 team on the road in Indiana and lost in overtime. But there was a lot of great positives throughout the season. We do lose 4 senior starters to graduation, but very excited about the group that we have coming back and going forward that have gotten a chance here over the last couple of years to get a lot of experience. And as we take the next step in our season here, which goes into the next season, which is recruiting, and a bunch of film already across our desk, and as soon as the contact period starts on December 1st, we'll be out all across the Midwest trying to find some guys to add to our program as well to help bolster things going forward. But very excited to get to watch some of the winter sports, and congratulations to some of the wins that we've already had there. I know Jill had some nice wins last weekend against some MIAA competition, and Larry had a nice win the other night. Best of luck to all in the winter sports, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Gohl. I'm the head swimming coach here at Jewell, and I want to thank everybody for attending this Cardinal Club Sports Luncheon. Since our last meeting, we suffered a couple difficult losses up in Kirksville, Missouri to Truman State. The men swam them close, came down to the last relay. We had to go 1-3 to tie the meet, and we ended up getting third, but our A relay got second to their A by less than a second. So we were less than a second away from tying them in a dual meet this year. Our women did pick up one individual win, and that came from freshman Paige Meredith. We're looking at a lot of big things from her this year, and for her to pick up an individual win against a D2 power, it was nice for the team. Then we swam against the University of Indianapolis at home on Saturday, November 9th. And the University of Indianapolis has traditionally been a top 15 team, top 10 the last 2 years, both on the men's and women's side. And that's top 10 in the country, not even top 10 in the GLVC. So it was a huge test for our team. We were able to pick up, I believe, about 4 wins total, 3 on the women's side and 1 on the men's. So that was nice for our team. We have a huge meet coming up this weekend. The last 2 years we went to the Grinnell College Pioneer Invite in December. We wanted to steer clear of going to an invitational the week before finals, because finals are earlier this year. So we kind of looked for a meet, and we found a very good meet with a lot of good competition up at the University of Chicago. There's going to be Southern Illinois University, so they're a D1 team there, Hillsdale College, GLIAC team, and then quite a few D3 teams are going to be there. But our team's primed and ready. We rested a little bit this week. We're going to let them shave, wear fast suits, so we should see some good results from the team. And 2 people that we're looking at seeing some really good results from are here to my right. They are both freshmen. They both actually swam club together when one of them lived in Arkansas. But Lane Bland is a freshman from Bentonville, Arkansas. And then Taylor Hunt, who was also featured in this month's Swimming World magazine as a comeback athlete. She originally lived in Arkansas, but then she moved to Littleton, Colorado. So with that, they're going to introduce themselves, talk a little bit about themselves, and feel free to ask them any questions.
So my name is Lane Bland. I'm from Arkansas, and I'm a freshman, and I swim all sorts of events.
Hi, I'm Taylor Hunt. I'm also a freshman. I'm from Evergreen, Colorado, and I swim breaststroke and IM.
Biology.
I'm a nursing major.
The biggest adjustment would just swimming way more. Like back home, we would only swim about 13 hours a week, but now it's up to around, I think, 20 hours a week, and it's a big difference for me, but that's about it.
I think the biggest adjustment is just being so far away from my family, and then also the swimming. The intensity has definitely increased a lot. I'm planning to get my master's in nursing, and I want to be a nurse practitioner, and I want to work in an ER. So that's my goal, is ultimately to get to an ER. But
I'm still sort of not, I don't know, 100% on it, but I'm thinking almost likely orthodontics, something along that lines.
I'm Jill Kress. I'm the women's basketball coach. I have to bring a paper up to remember things. I think that means my age, so when Coach Holly comes up, he's going to have a lot of papers. Talk to you a little bit about our program. Also want to point out my assistant coach, Coach Steve Broughton, is here, third year, so he's made it 3 years with me, and really appreciate all that he does. We're going to talk a little bit about this year, but I also want to say yesterday ended the early signing period for basketball, and on the women's side we signed 5 players early. Really excited about that class coming in. This year we were picked number 6 on the west side of the conference. We're hoping as a team that we do better than that. Last year we were picked 6 also and finished 3rd on our side. Currently we are 2-2 for the season. We've played actually a pretty tough schedule so far. We opened up with number 8 in the nation, Central Missouri, and lost by 17. I like playing those kind of teams. I think it's a test for our players and our character, and I know our kids have bounced back really well. We went to the Northwest Missouri State Classic after that and played Lincoln University and got a win on Saturday. And then Sunday we played Northwest Missouri State. And they're a very good team. We were down, I think, 11 with about 10 minutes left and came back and won that game. Had Chelsea Meeks get on the All-Classic team. Chelsea's also a senior and is 4 points away from joining the 1,000-point club for us. Then we ran into Pitt State on Tuesday, and I know looking around, some of you guys were there. Pitt State's a very good team in the MIAA, and yeah, they exposed some of our weaknesses, and hopefully we can get those fixed. We ended up losing by 22 to them, but again, I think it's a great test for our team. I don't mind playing teams like that because I think you can learn from them and make yourself better. This Saturday, we play Upper Iowa University. We played them last year and lost to them by 2 in overtime. I know our players are looking forward to playing them again. They're a very good team. They played University of Northern Iowa Division I, lost to them by 6, and UNI is picked to finish 3rd in the Missouri Valley Conference. They also just got done playing Lewis University, who's in the GLVC, and lost to them by 5. So I know we're going to have a test on our hands. We play Saturday again at 2 o'clock. We'd love to have you guys there and support. We're looking forward to playing them. I'm excited about the group that we have. We have 4 new players, and we had 8 returning. 3 of those returners are seniors. Really excited about the seniors and the leadership that they bring to our team. One of them is here today, and she's going to work herself on up here, Jessica Wheeler. Jess Wheeler, in my 18 years at Jewell, is one of the best leaders that we've had on and off the floor. Great teammate, great person to coach. She's somebody that plays over 25 minutes a game for us. Nursing major, 3.3 GPA, just a super person. And that's one of the, I think, the best things about William Jewell is kind of players and people that we get. And I'm excited to see Jess and have her come up here and tell you what she's going to do.
Hi, I am Jess. I am a senior on the basketball team, and like Coach Kress said, I'm a nursing major. What do I want to do? Well, I chose nursing because my long-term goal is I would like to go into medical missions and move somewhere internationally and work at a hospital or an orphanage or something like that. More short-term, I guess. I'm planning on staying around here hopefully next year, and I'm more interested in the community side of nursing, so I would love to get a job at a homeless shelter or a free clinic as their nurse there.
Must be a really bad day outside because Coach Gorley is here. He would be playing golf otherwise. Coach Gorley was my cross-country and track coach and then later became golf coach here, and he coached football and he coached wrestling. And I want to congratulate Coach Kress and the Lady Cardinals and Jess Wheeler. You know, this is our third year at the NCAA Division II level. Our women's program has had a winning record both years. Our program has had a losing record both years. And she's off to another great start to defeat Northwest Missouri State 3 years in a row on the road in their invitational tournament is quite an accomplishment. Put your hands together for Coach Kress. That's a great job. You notice she said that they signed 5 players for next year. We have signed none. Not sure what that means, except we haven't signed anybody. We've made some offers, and the people we've offered to have decided to wait until the spring. We have a very young basketball team. We have one senior, Devontae Bell, and Devontae's playing very well. He had a great game against Northwest Missouri State, had another outstanding game against Pittsburgh State on Tuesday night. We have 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 5 freshmen. We also have no centers. So I think with all the new players, hopefully program sales will go up. And I will tell you what I tell every coach before every game. I go up to them and say, you know, we don't have a center, and you're required to start every basketball game with 5 players. That's a rule. And so we start every game with 5 players. But I tell the coach that after the jump ball, the guy that jumps ball is going to come over and sit down by me, and we're going to see if you'll just play us 4-on-4 without your center. Nobody has taken us up on that so far. We are currently 1-2 on the year. We opened our season last weekend in the Hilliard Classic. We played Missouri Western State University. They have a new coach, and they played extremely well against us. We did not play well except for one stretch in the second half, and the result was 78-55 with the Griffons in the lead. The next day we played a team that is picked to finish second in the MIAA, Northwest Missouri State University. They jumped on us 9-0. I called a timeout, had a little visit. They didn't extend it, and the timeout really worked because they extended the lead to 12. But we made a little comeback, got it tied at 25, had it tied at the half. Actually had a lead into the first 10 minutes of the second half. Had a stretch where we played really well. Lost the game 78-71. We lost at SIU Carbondale in an exhibition game, 78-66. So we keep giving up 78 points, but we can't score 79 or more. Tuesday night we played extremely well against Pittsburgh State. We caught a break. Pittsburgh State's best player was injured in their previous game. They have a transfer from University of Oregon who had 20-plus points at KU, 20-plus points at K-State. So we caught a break. They're still a good team without him. But we came out and shot it well. We're very small. If you saw us play, both of our guards are 5'10", and our small forward is 6 foot tall. So aptly named small forward. So we're pretty small, but we are pretty athletic. When we shoot the ball, we're going to be competitive if we shoot it well. And that comes down to shot selection and confidence. We're a little worried about our lack of size with our interior defense. But this group of players works extremely hard every day in practice. It's fun to go to practice with these guys. And we're going to be practicing on doubling down in the post defensively. We're going to work a lot on some zone defense as well as man-to-man. But we're really going to try to push the basketball. And if you were at the game, so far, that's the best that we have played as far as pushing the basketball. We have 5 straight home games, which included the game Tuesday night against Pitt State. Upper Iowa, who we play on Saturday, we lost to them up there last year. They lost about 2 weeks ago at Bradley University by 1. Bradley, as you know, is in the Missouri Valley Conference. They split with the University of Missouri St. Louis, so they're a very, very solid team. As far as the GLVC is concerned, teams from our league have won 2 of the last 3 national championships. In 2011, Bellarmine of Louisville, Kentucky, won the national championship. The next year they got to the Final Four. Last year, Drury of Springfield, Missouri, won the national title. Drury lost their best 3 players to graduation. And I don't know if you know this, but whoever wins NCAA Division II gets to play Duke University in an exhibition game the next year. So, Drury goes to Duke about 3 weeks ago without their 3 best players who had graduated at Cameron Indoor, and Drury was ahead of Duke at halftime at Cameron Indoor. Drury was ahead of Duke with 10 minutes to play at Cameron Indoor. They're pretty good. That tells you a little bit about our league. It's a great league. It's a great test every night out. I hope the schedule that we have put together non-conference-wise will prepare us for that. Our first conference game will be December 5th on a Thursday here against Rockhurst University, doubleheader, I think, 5:30 for the women, 7:30 for the men. But I do hope you'll come and see us play. Our assistant, oh, I thought she was waving at me. Our assistant coaches who are not here today are John Addison in his second year and Matt Sherman in his first year. Matt's father, Jeff Sherman, is the head coach at Central Methodist University. We're also picked 6th in the West out of 8 teams. Hopefully we can challenge to go a little bit higher than that, but it will be a challenge every night out. I'm going to ask Cyril Ballon to head on up this way. Cyril got a call from me last night. I finally got back with him this morning and asked why I was calling. And when he found out, I think he almost decided that he needed to go to a class at 12 noon that he's not even enrolled in. Devontae Bell and a couple of the upperclassmen who I'd asked were unable to come. Cyril is from Cameroon, and he'll tell you this. I don't mean to steal his thunder. And he's one of the finest athletes I've ever had the opportunity to coach, and he played his best game of his career at William Jewell on Tuesday night. He played 27 minutes, he had 18 points, and he was a key factor in our success and will be throughout this year. Proud of him, proud to have him in the program. Feel free to ask him questions. He's a little nervous about this, but I know he's going to do a great job. Please welcome Cyril Ballon, Jr., William Jewell College.
Hi, I'm Cyril Ballon. I'm a junior at William Jewell College. I'm an accounting major. I am also really bad at public speaking, so bear with me for a little bit. I had a list of stuff I was supposed to talk about, but then I sat back and I heard a bunch of questions. So to avoid the questions, kinda, I'm gonna say a little bit about how I got to William Jewell. So the story's kind of long, so I'm gonna cut it short. It's a weekend, it's a Sunday, so I just realized I can't go to Dominican University in California because that was the school that was actually recruiting me, and it was a NCAA eligibility issue, so it was going to take an extra 5 days for me to be cleared. And the next Monday, what happened was a coach that I didn't even know called me, and he was saying he was going to help me find a school, that I should trust him. But, you know, at that point, it was a bunch of calls and a bunch of people that said, hey, we're going to find a school for you. And the school was about to start, and I still didn't have a place to go to. But then about 30 to 45 minutes later, Coach Holly called, and he said, even if I don't get cleared, I'm going to be coming to William Jewell. Okay, that was kind of a relief, but then, like I said, I had a bunch of calls before that saying that people were going to help me. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and then the next Thursday, I think, I'm going to the grocery store with my host mom, and she stops the car and she tells me, "You fine." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then she said, "It's a great day to be a Cardinal." So I'm like, what does it even mean? She said, this your coach, this your future coach, and he just said it's a great day to be a Cardinal. And that's how I ended up at Jewell the next, Saturday. So that's about what I had to say. It's been a great experience. You know, first time making long-term friendship that lasts longer than a year, because I've been to a couple of prep school, one semester at one and a full year at another one in Michigan. But yeah, it has been a great experience basketball-wise and school-wise. You know, there's been some downtime basketball-wise, but you know, I still remember when first time I talked to Coach Kress, and she was telling me that it takes a while to adjust to the way Coach Holly wants you to play. So,
Let me add to that story. We were still looking for a player, and this has been, 2 years ago. And I get a call from Lewis Wilson. Some of you remember Lewis Wilson, who played here on our 87 and 88 teams. And that 88 team's in the Hall of Fame. He's now the head coach at Adams State. And he had gotten a call about Cyril being available late because the NCAA had kind of messed up his eligibility without going into detail. They had his high school graduation year incorrect, which meant he had to, wherever he went, he had to not only sit out a year, but he lost a year of eligibility. We saw all that information, and Gail Stewart, I think, was our compliance officer at that time, and we saw the error of the NCAA's ways, and we submitted that, and I talked to Cyril. I found out about him on Monday. Classes started at William Jewell on Wednesday. He committed to William Jewell on Thursday. Friday, the NCAA declared him eligible. Saturday, he arrived. Monday, he goes to class. I mean, it's the faith he has in a voice on the phone talking about a school he'd never heard of. He had Division I offers, folks, and because the NCAA had messed up some of his eligibility part of it, or somebody had filled his form out incorrect, it allowed him to come here. I should also say that he played at Brim Prep Academy in Carbondale, Illinois. Carbondale, Illinois. That's where we played this year against SIU. I got to meet his high school coach, and he had numerous friends that were at the game. So very proud to have him in the program. He represents us very well. He's always going to play hard. And I just thought I'd tell you that story. I'd never had a situation like that. And with the help of Dr. Bailey, we were willing to take him on even if he had to sit out a year and lose a year. But as it turns out, because we got that corrected, he was immediately eligible and is now a junior at William Jewell. I thought you might like to hear that part of it. And that, as they say, is the rest of the story. Okay.
There's not going to be too many more years we can talk about Paul Harvey because the younger people aren't even going to remember who he is. I say that in my class, and they look at me like, who was that? It's great to see you all today. Cyril, Jesse, Taylor, Lane, we're so glad that you're part of our program. You really kind of saw a cross-section of folks today. Kids from far away, really far away, and then somebody that's from right here really close. And they're all doing really great things. I would take a minute to a shout out to the nursing program because our nursing program at Jewell, we cannot say enough about how they work with our student athletes. That is a really wonderful thing that our coaches can sell. And it's not just selling, it's the truth. You cannot go just anywhere and be a student athlete and be in a nursing program. A lot of institutions will say you have to choose one or the other, or you just need to go somewhere else. But our nursing program embraces our student athletes. Between our 20 sports, our cheer and our dance programs, we have over 40 student athletes in the nursing program. I mean, it's a lot of students. They love our student athletes because we have a great three-way partnership with our coaches understanding the rigors of becoming a nurse and supporting that because those same rigors are what make them good student athletes. The nursing program being understanding of practice times and trying to work around it when they can. And then also the student athletes being responsible themselves. So our nursing program is really great for our students. I know this year Coach actually stopped by the hospital and picked up one of our nurses on the way to a match because she was doing her clinical that day. So that's just a great example of how we all work together and one of the great things about Jewell. So thank you all for being here today. An update on Paul Worstel. Paul, our tennis coach, our sports information director, had texted me on Monday that he was going to do his very best to get here today. He is getting primed, hopefully within the next 30 to 45 days for his bone marrow transplant. And the deal was this morning he went to get his blood checked. He has to go get his blood checked every single day. And if his blood was good this morning, he was going to come to lunch. Unfortunately, his counts were down and he had to go have a blood transfusion today. So please continue to keep Paul in your thoughts. I know that none of us on a daily basis that walk by his door in the athletic department can imagine what it can be like not to be able to see people for months and months. And that's the situation he's in. Unfortunately, he sees his doctor and his kids, and he sees his house. And hopefully the donors have been identified, so they're in the process of trying to get all that working so he can either begin the transplant process either right before or right after Christmas. So, Paul, if you're watching this, shout out to you. So, Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. Please come back next month. One of the things that we've kind of started as a tradition for the December meeting, we will bring our December graduates. We will invite them to come. I don't know for sure exactly how many we have this year, but we always have some mid-year graduates. We'll invite them to come and tell you about the great things that they're going to be doing upon graduation. So we'll see you again in December on the third Thursday. Thank you.